Hey, what's going on, guys? Tom Lloyd Jr. here again, and I just wanted to follow up with you guys from our video yesterday that we did about jig fishing and wintertime jig fishing at that. We talked about our finesse jig, we talked about our football jig that we kind of made into a finesse style football jig, and then we talked about that secret, a little bit more top secret deal, the hair jig, the marabou hair jig. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I do as far as trailers go on these, and why I think that those trailers work best for the wintertime specifically. So first things first, we have our finesse jig, and this was just our standard ball head finesse jig here. The thing I like about on this particularly is the zoom critter craw, and I like this in a green pumpkin with purple. You're going to see a big trend here with the way that I like these plastics for the wintertime specifically. I like a little purple fleck in it, and that's just my personal preference. So this is the bait right here. I cut it off about right here, just about a fingernail's length or so, and that really just shortens that profile up on that jig. So I'm going to thread it on, and this is my finesse jig. This is my everyday go-to. This was that Kentucky brown melon color here, and that's the one I really like just day in and day out, and that's a great combination. You can see how small that profile is. These little pinchers don't have much action. They just kind of sit down there, and like I was mentioning, when this stands up, those pinchers just stand up on the bottom of the lake and just are in that position where that bait just looks real. So that's the first one. The other profile I like when it's a little bit either dirtier water or just when I feel like the fish are a little bit more active. That happens even throughout the wintertime when it's cold still. So I'm going to go with that Ultravibe Speed Craw, and that's again from Zoom. But I just like this profile. It doesn't really have anything to do with the company or whatnot. It's just I prefer the profile of these baits, and all three of these are going to be Zoom. But this one here is the Ultravibe Speed Craw. It's got little pinchers on it that have some action to them, but it's a small, slender profile bait that really works well on the back of that finesse jig. So that's my second one, and that's on both of these finesse jigs, either the Blue Magic Craw one or the black and blue. I just match them up accordingly. I know a lot of guys will mix and match, but I think matching the head to the bait to the skirt is really most beneficial for me in most cases. Next one is the Fat Albert Twin Tail. This is like a Chomper's grub, twin tail grub, something like that, and it just has a little bit of action to it, but it's not overbearing like a big pocket chunk or something like that. It's just that traditional grub style twin tail grub. Again, green pumpkin purple in that one. So this is what that bait looks like rigged up. I really like this one. I do take a little bit off the top of this one as well as that Ultravibe as well, just to get that profile. The biggest thing that I'm trying to do here, guys, is make it so that those pinchers, when they're out there flapping, they're not getting hung up in the skirt material itself. So I just want that particular presentation so that it's as tight and compact as possible, all the while keeping that out of the skirt. So those are the few jigs there. And then, like I was mentioning, that other less known style jig for the winter time here in the Ozarks especially is this marabou hair jig, and I like to just put a small piece of worm on that, and that's just a watermelon red color worm, and I just cut it down a bunch. That's a Laz-Tech one, but basically all that does is give it a little bulk, and it allows it to when it's sitting on the bottom, that hair's all moving around, and that's just something for them to key in on and strike on. So again, that's my setups. So from the marabou jig to the finesse jig with the Ultravibe and the football jig with the twin tail grub on the back, that's what I like for wintertime fishing. If you guys have any questions, drop them below. We'll be back with part 3 probably on Thursday. You guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We're going to talk about the setups and how we actually fish these jigs. So you want to stay tuned for that, because that's actually the fish catching part. So check it out. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good day. Have a good Christmas.